I'm not saying we're going to be very, very good like sales org, right? But we're going to be very, very good at changing things and creating new things.
For the investors, they're gonna love this idea because you are combining these two models.
Yeah, you can use technology, like AI for something, but eventually the problem has to be there.
Welcome to the Top Style Show. Thank you, folks, for joining us. We really appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, the founder of Swifteam or Swif.ai, the founder of Swif AI, Angelo Huang, he's with us. He has started so many companies that, he is like the father of so many organizations in Silicon Valley. But this is very exciting because, these onboarding, offboarding remote employees, very few people know how painful that is for the person doing it and the employee at the end of it, whether they have to go through the support and at the end the CTO has to do it. It's ridiculous. He's making it very simple, very accessible, and you may not need to be a technical person to even do it. I'm like, whoa, what just happened? He just literally replaced part of CTO's job with his AI. So Swif AI, folks, so Angelo, welcome to the show. You got to tell us more about Swif AI.
The reason we started was exactly the same reason you just described. I was a CTO role at the Liao, where the company I started. So what I did, onboard everyone like in the US and Singapore. I did it myself. I flew to Singapore for 17 hours. What to do? I brought 2 laptops with me and take it to Singapore.
Oh man!
I was like, I think someone had to solve this.
Yeah. And the airport security.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So the point when I started, I think I just want to make everyone forget about this. Like, in the US, you don't worry. Like, you buy a laptop, you send to somebody's house. Like, very easy, like 7-Eleven going in and out, right?
Yeah.
But now, like every other country. So when I started, I thought, what's the first problem that I have to address? Like delivery or security. But it ends up we have to do both.
Yeah.
Because security is to protect the company assets and make sure that you can still have control. You don't want to send a laptop and forget about it, right?
Yeah.
So we have to do that. Then we have to figure out how the operation can work, combining the function that we operate.
Yeah.
So then we build both and then make it to a Swif product.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you have to do both. Like, I really cannot think any product, just do it one side and forget about the other side. And I think that kind of product is just because they trying to avoid the difficult problem.
Yeah.
But we're not. We think this is, we have an engineering mindset. So we think, okay, this is an interesting engineering problem. Can we make it easier?
Oh. So now, 2 sides. So you're focusing on the tech side and the operational.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
So the operational side is, are you also doing the shipping, even the financing, you're like purchasing, all of that also?
Yeah, we have to do that. Just think about, if we're not doing it, who else was going to do? Like the customers, right? And if you can say yes to a customer, we can take care of the problem, then you got the product.
Yeah.
So of course we say yes. So customer asking, can you help me like do this and swags? I say, yeah, of course. When you onboard a person, you need to put the swags there, right?
Yeah.
I cannot say no. I have to say yes.
Yeah.
So it just makes so much sense to combine now everything together in one place.
Yeah.
And today we just sent 2 boxes full of computer to their employee, and inside there's a sweater, there's a T-shirt. If I was an employee, I would feel, wow, this company is so professional.
Yeah.
I would probably work for Google now.
Yeah, this is so amazing. Trust me, a lot of our employees, they're working on a project at Walmart, and Walmart sends them a MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't take it back. They just give it to them.
Yeah, because it's too much trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because this whole thing, trust me, I worked about almost 10 years ago, and it took 7 days to set up the system so that I have access to the apps. And then there are a bunch of calls, a bunch of things, and that's just access to their on-site desktop. but it's a long time ago. And then the laptop, it took another 7 days. and now you are solving that like, boom,
Yeah.
taking care of for the customer.
So when you onboard someone in August 1st, right?
Yeah.
We have to do it like today. But if it's not with us, right, what are you going to do? You probably spend like a week figuring out all the things that you need to do, in-source stuff. And you can use those time to develop your product and just leave that, all this like difficult stuff to us. And we can, the thing is we can allocate resources, right?
Yeah.
Because now we have buying power and we can make it much efficient.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's so amazing. But how do you do it for the international? Let's say somebody in Singapore. So you have like an offshore setup there?
I think that's the only way you can actually achieve that.
Oh.
Because if we don't have operation, that means our customer has to have it. So if the customer asking, then I have to say yes. I think we can do it. So yes, we have to India. Like India will set up the office there and partner with someone and do the logistics. But we don't have to do it. We just have to partner someone really good. Maybe in the future, if we want to go like very small country, then we have to sell our own operations there, getting our own inventory. But for the bigger country, there are players like bigger players out there, and they can work with us.
Yeah.
We give them order, we give them something, and we figure out the operation side, and then just help our customer to get better. But customer doesn't have to do it on their own. We do it. We have a domain knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And plus, now they use our software, so they have one step less worry about how they're going to deal with the management stuff, like the inventory.
Yeah.
Everything is on our side. Yeah.
So this is for the first part is the logistics of it.
Yeah.
Giving people the laptop, they have it, and then the setup. They don't have to call the company. They call you.
Yeah.
Or they do. You have your Swift GPT.
Yeah.
So they can just chat
exactly.
with the bot.
So GPT is also going to continue evolve. I think helping people to do onboarding.
Okay.
Yeah. AI is going to actually solve a lot of problems on the security side.
Yeah.
Today, I think not many security company use this technology yet. But if you think about this, like AI can actually make the operation really easy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's essentially what it does, right? You just command and request and response.
Yeah.
So if you have a question like I want to onboard John, then you tell GPT what to do, and GPT react to you. Like step 1, step 2, step 3, and all this we can do, right? So we don't have the customers to think. They have a brain, and we have a lot of data, right? So we know what exactly they can do. What's the pricing for shipping? How long it takes? And what exactly the model you might need? All this can be solved by a language model.
Wow. Now, are you like a subscription plan for the companies, the monthly subscription, or you're like one-time fee?
So this is a very interesting model. Of course, we discovered that after working with the customers. So first, you have a software subscription. Then customers start using it, but then they will ask for operation help, like onboarding, offboarding, and a lot of different like device purchase, right? And all this become a cash flow. So this is the first time when I started like a B2B company, I see a model which you can combine cash flow business and the subscription model together.
Wow.
And it makes tons of sense because that's what usually companies do every day, right? So they will buy the laptop as a cash flow in and out, and then they also subscribe to software. Right now, they don't have to worry like they have to do it multiple places, as everything on the one platform.
Because you're like Apple in that sense, because Apple's first thing, they sell you the hardware, but they have tons of money coming in nowadays from these iCloud, from the subscription, the music, all kinds of things. Plus the developers are paying every time $99 or something. I have a couple of developer accounts, none of them I'm using. I forgot which credit card was being used. So
I still pay $99.
and this Apple gets money. And so this is very good, how to combine this. And for the investors, they're gonna love this idea because you are combining these two models. You have the subscription, and right now you have like a 20K ARR, right?
Yeah, that's right. Annual revenue.
Annual revenue.
So we have 3 big customers like Simple.ai.
Okay.
They are doing like a language model for sales.
Oh.
And they actually use this like every single day, like manage onboarding, offboarding,
Yeah.
and using us to manage the employee as well. So they use us as a source of truth for the employee records. Because they have multiple payroll. Just imagine you are a remote company.
Yeah.
You have a team in India, you have a team in the US.
Yeah.
You have different payroll system, but you also have the central system for inventory.
Yeah.
Now you have to have the employee records in one place to match with the inventory, right?
Yeah.
So they make it as a like, source of truth for their employee records.
One other thing I think of, who is logging in, who is logging out, what time. That's all the data coming from you.
We do know, but of course, for the privacy reason, we don't we don't catch too much detail on the app itself. We focus on we know what kind of app like they're using, like active application, and then we show the summary to the company.
Yeah.
And that will become sort of like performance if you think about it, but it's not too much detail.
Yeah.
So the other like requests coming from customer, we often have to say no. Is the network. So we can now monitor their network. So we don't know what exactly they're browsing.
Okay.
Actually, customer wanted, but this is not something I think we want to evolve because that involves a little bit of privacy issues. And and I don't think it's like wise you do this and then you claim like you're not taking data for the employee, right? Employee also worry like how much data you're leaking.
Oh yeah, because they get concerned.
Yeah.
Because I onboarded a bunch of people in China, but we never gave them the hardware.
Yeah.
But I bought them all of them VPN, and that's a must because without the VPN and good VPN, they cannot work at all.
And you have to tell them VPN password for each single of them, right?
Yeah.
That's why you need a device security like us. Like you deploy a policy, everyone going to have the same VPN.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like a few configure, everyone join automatically have the VPN on.
Yeah.
So that's the power of management and the security. So you don't have to worry.
You don't have to be shipping laptop and then setting up their email
and then like sending the password and just tell them how to set the VPN.
I set up people's the Gmail account, the Google Workspace. What happens is people try to log in a couple of days later.
Yeah.
And by then it expired. Yeah. And then they come back, the password not working. And then you gotta go back in, you gotta change password, you gotta give them a new password. And sometimes Google automatically turns on this thing where every time you have to change the password if it's on a new device. And sometimes I'm logging in myself. I'm like, they're just logging me out, and then you got to go in their settings. I figured it out a few months ago how to do that. So these are ways.
And there's another problem like you haven't yet like say it like. Once you give them Google Workspace, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how many people have the Google Workspace or Slack or that kind of access. Like if you have intercom or you have like CRM tool, you usually forget who has the access. When they leave the company, you have to figure out how many access I have to turn off, and then it's just like every day it's all about one app at a time. Access management is also very important, and that's why we also include that in our onboarding flow. And that's
so important.
Yeah, it's very important because you often forget how many access an employee has.
I sincerely remember for one of our companies, we kept the Google Workspace access on for 2 of the employees that left a year ago. And for one of them, we kept paying them for a whole year that we didn't even know.
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm not any big people, so for me, I'm like, oh God, wow. But if I had something like yours, I could have easily see who's logging in, what's happening.
You're going to have a report, like see like what all the apps you have, who have access to what. So by the time when they leave, we show you all the apps you have to turn off, right? It's just like check. I've turned off all this, and you finish out offboarding. You also have someone take care of all the shipping to take care of laptop and take it back to our warehouse.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to worry. You don't even see the hardware. And then when someone is onboarding, again, click, send a laptop to the new guy.
Yeah.
And like for you, just like click.
Wow, man. You were in that aspect. You're kind of the Amazon of because you're doing the logistics.
We definitely want to be there, right?
Yeah.
We want to be a big merchandise, or I would say commerce, partnership for every other company that help them to figure out their IT or security stuff, so they don't have to worry about the nitty-gritty about buying and shipping. They don't have to worry about who I'm going to partner with when I expand to a new country. We figure out first, right?
Yeah.
And you just come to our network, and we show you our network, so you don't have to okay, who am I going to buy a laptop for this new employee in Singapore?
Yeah.
Ask us. We've done it before.
Oh, because otherwise you'll be looking around. Where's the Apple's Apple store in Singapore, and they're gonna give you the currency situation, right? So over here you're just making invoice payments. Wow, this is amazing. So now the other thing is, you are also providing security. That's a big issue for companies because who's stealing the data, or are they doing something crazy?
Yeah.
So that's a big, that's a software, cybersecurity side of things.
Yeah, so just imagine today you're going to get compliance audit, right? The first thing they'll ask is your device, your workspace. Do they have an antivirus installed? Does your disk encrypted? All those questions you cannot answer unless you have a tool like ours. If you don't, then you have to have one, because otherwise, this is not going to get done.
Yeah, you're not like the SOC 2 compliant, right?
Yeah.
So if you cannot answer it, you're not compliant with the...
Exactly, the process. And even before that, usually the enterprise customer will ask, are you on the track to hit all this milestone, right? So even before you have SOC 2, some company will be okay, but they will ask the question, do you have your encryption enabled for every employee, right? Most of the company will say yes.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I just turn it on.
Oh man, yeah. Okay. So that's a very important thing. Now, you have like an app store.
Yeah.
Where you're integrating with Slack and
so you can install that into your devices, right? You don't have to worry as one. Hey, you have to install Photoshop or Sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just install for them. That push to everyone. I mean, common one is Chrome browser.
Yeah.
But employee, they will download themselves. But right now, you just set that as a default, right? Every device is going to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, are you only available for Mac, or you're also in the Windows also?
Yeah, both.
Both.
But ideal way is to have a unified platform for all the devices, including iOS and Android. And we're going to work on it in 2024. Yeah.
When I was working, they had this. In the beginning, they used to give the device. Then later on, they're like, bring your own device.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And because they were like, okay, we can give up, or all these controlling the hardware and then upgrading it and all kinds of things. But in this case, whenever they need to upgrade, they don't have to worry about it. They just click and you do the upgrade.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and BYOD, bring your own device, is also a different game. A lot of company are having trouble to understand what is this. So for us, right, it's the same process, but we give you a very simple enablement. Say this device is BYOD. And then we will only look at the current account. So on your computer, we don't access any other account. And then we cannot have a certain control, like for example, admin control anymore. So that's for BYOD.
Yeah. So you don't have the admin control, but you can give some access.
Yeah, we're still able to turn on encryption, install the policy on that account.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but you don't have the access to switch change your password for the other account, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's BYOD.
Wow.
And for employee, right? If I want to use my personal, I'll just switch to my personal account.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that will be very safe and
Wow, because this is so important. With the large clients, I think a significant part of their resource goes into figuring things out for the employees that are doing the software development or the QA or any other work, right? Because I had that issue. It was December. The work was very slow, but we were pretending that we're working all the time. So I had some side hustle. I always have some side hustle going on. So I was making an app where I take the Google trend keywords, and then I don't think they used to have the trends, but we figure out which most searched names, and then you pull the YouTube API with those search terms to build the page, and that gets ranked pretty high. Used to 10 years ago, it doesn't anymore. Now they figured out this is a scam. So I was doing keyword research in December. And on the company's laptop, on the company's desktop actually. And then I took some screenshots, okay, we can use this keyword here, and I did some diagrams, and I sent it to my own email using their email to my email. And it says keyword analytics. The next day my system shut down. Everything shut down. I was like, I can't log in. What happened? Did I get fired? And then the global security head or something, then I get a call, like, what was the document you were sending? Was it an espionage? Was it stealing company information? So I had to go through the whole process, and then finally, okay, we'll give you access back. But then my bosses and the bosses of the bosses, they were like, he has no work to do. He's doing some other analysis on our computer. What is he doing? What are we paying him for? And so this is like a real thing. And then if you switch your job, then again, you got to go through a different set of vendors and different things. But in this case, let's say some guy going from one of your clients to the other client that you have is the same stuff. So it's very easy for them to switch, right? So, wow. So this is an amazing idea.
Yeah, for BYOD is actually to protect the privacy, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely only limited to the account. And otherwise, employee or you won't install anything on your computer. There's no way you're going to install anything on it.
That is, so now, before this company, so Swif AI, now it's called the Swif.ai, right? Swif AI. Before it was Swifteam.
Yeah.
By the way, I thought you were a big fan of Taylor Swift. And that's why you have the Swifteam.com. And she is coming next to your office on July 28th.
I think today.
Oh, wow.
When I'm on the way here, everyone dressed like princess.
The Swiftie. They are called Swifties.
Yeah, everyone dressed like.
And you are wearing the Swifteam, so they're like, oh, he's a big part of.
Or maybe I should go there and charge at $5 to take a picture.
Yes.
They will think I'm the back
you're the back office.
Back office.
Taylor Swift. Because oh my God! But this is but that name is gonna resonate with people. Is nobody's forgetting Swift. And your office is actually the reason I know where it is because I have an office in Patrick Henry Drive. So I take a turn every time, and your office is right on my left side. Every time I take it. But so that's how I know it's a very good location. You have some. You have a food court and a lot of restaurants there too.
Yeah, right next to it.
Like Iguana's Burrito.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Iguana's?
Yeah, of course.
This. I'm telling you this. They have this Iguana's El Pastor.
Uh-huh.
If you try that, don't drive after that. I had 2 of those, and maybe a few drinks, and I lost control of my car. It was many years ago, and after that, I'm never eating El Pastor, sitting over there with drinks and then driving. So that's not. But let's get back to Swifteam. And so the Swif AI now, and they can go to Swif.com or Swif.ai.
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 Yeah, in the future. Swif.com.
In the future, yes. But before that, you started so many companies. You were the lead IQ. You were the co-founder.
I was a co-founder there.
Okay.
Yeah, many people know that Chrome extension capture linking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of people would know. Oh, you're the linking capture guy.
Oh wow, what was it?
I'm capturing linking.
Because this is like the Zoom info, the Apollo.
Yeah.
Everything you search, anybody's name you search, they show up.
Yeah.
They have the information of everybody, the org chart and.
Yeah. when we started, that was very new. Not many people doing that. Like prospecting on linking at the time was very, very few people know how to do it. And so we developed that tool, and you figure out who you want to target, and we give you all the information that you need.
Oh.
And just starting from the idea, right? Keep building a different set of tool.
Yeah.
So company can really utilize for themselves. But I think today you have a lot of more options now.
Oh, yeah. But that was a very, very innovative concept because everything came on the internet, but the people's professional information, you guys were kind of the pioneers of bringing that, structured way in the search results, right? So that way,
that's very good. Like B2B search, people will search for company, but later on extended to prospecting. People want to have the search experience. Especially like the leads or prospect, right? And then that extend now to a sort of like one-stop platform. You can search anything like for company, for prospect, for buying signal. That's how advanced of the technology become today.
Man, wow, yeah. So that's a very good knowledge to have because now you can do prospecting for Swifteam with no cost, with a very limited cost because you are the master of that the person.
I know how it was done, right?
Yeah.
And when the company want to sell me the database, I know I know the unit price.
Oh yeah, this is okay. Yeah, because everybody nowadays I get so many emails. Everybody tries to sell you some database of this, of that, but for you have all of that. So that's so Lead IQ. You were the co-founder of that.
Yeah, at the time. So that was like 5 years journey.
5 years.
Actually more because I started 2012 by myself, but eventually pivoted to Lead IQ. And now, now I think they have 200 company now, 200 people now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So are you still the shareholder?
No, I'm not. I sold my ownership in 2020.
Oh, to the venture people?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I enjoy the ride. Definitely this is once I first try of the venture history, right? For me.
Yeah.
And it was great. I have no doubt.
Wow, because I searched and you guys are everywhere, like all kinds of things. So it was amazing. And then before you have some ed tech company also.
Yeah, that was that was before the Swifteam.
Oh, before
Swif, we were actually ed tech, a consumer app. And then I saw the problem onboarding, offboarding teachers at that time. I was like, okay, should I continue on the ad tech journey, not making any money? or actually solving the problem like I saw it again and again.
Yeah.
And we have to onboard 200 teachers at the time. We have to hire an onboarding manager.
Yeah.
Just do exactly onboarding them to download the app, how to be a teacher on the platform. And I was like, well, I really want to make this go away. Yeah, I want to automate that.
Yeah, because this is one thing the startup founders they go through in Silicon Valley. Let's say they have an idea, they start, and then they find a problem, but finding a problem, and
it has to be organic.
Yeah, it has to be organic.
At the YC, everyone was the mentor always say you have to find it organically. Don't just like I have to come up with a problem tomorrow. It won't work.
I tried to create artificial problems so many times. I can probably write a movie script with that. Like how many times I tried. Because none of those were organic, The organic ones are really the problems I face myself and then somebody else is solving, like you solve.
Or somebody face, but you saw that again and again, right?
Yeah.
It comes to you like in front of you and it was so obvious.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And before that, you had you had a chat app or something like that. Pure I am.
Oh, the Peer.
Oh, Peer.
Actually, that was the transit between before the IQ. That was the Slack before Slack, and we target external customers like for salespeople, and that eventually become the IQ. Because we sell to the same group of people, and they are not looking for chat; they're looking for email.
Yeah.
Wow. So obviously it makes sense to just give them email. Yeah. Always say yes. So we just keep saying yes, and then that become the IQ at the time. Yeah.
Oh man, I love you because one of the thing this I don't remember who said this, But somebody said if somebody gives you money, take it and then figure out what you're going to do with it. Don't say no. I think it's Richard Branson or somebody, and then so yours is, you see the problem, the customer says, I got to send it to Singapore. You're like, okay, I'll do it for you. Yeah. And then you created the whole process.
In our story, like Swif story is like the customer say, can you do me a favor? Like, I have an employee in India, but I'm remote team. Figure out a way like to send it, and then okay, so I say yes, and then I go back to my desk searching the provider in India. Oh. How do I ship? Right? I call like UPS. How much is it? And I call the local delivery guy. How much is it? And then just present the final decision to the customer, and that become our offering now, right? So so every customer, if they have to go through the same process, for us we just consolidate.
Yeah. Wow, this is amazing. Solving problem, because you just taught us so many things. Anybody listening to this carefully, they'll be like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Start as many as you can, learn from it, get an organic problem, solve it. When the customer says, ask you to do something, say yes. Oh man, I love it. This is very, very important. Now, by the way, you and I, we went to the same school, the Viterbi School of Engineering. Yeah. So you are a USC Trojan.
Yeah. I still love the way they developed. Like it was a small school at the time. Yeah. But I haven't been there like for a long time. But I heard now it's very modern. They become really, really rich because they allow
money is probably not their problem anymore because of the connections and all that, but the USC, the one thing they do very well is kind of the Trojan feeling, the togetherness, like that, the red and the yellow and, the whole branding, I would say, right? It's just so unified. Yeah. And so whether you are School of Cinematic Arts or Viterbi, you're kind of like together, the feeling. USC does it so well. Because other places I have seen, it kind of like, I was part of the engineering, I don't know anything about the other one. But over there, you go to so many of those departments and take the general education. But you did master, so you probably didn't do the general ed. You were probably in the lab in Viterbi all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and then LA wasn't really like Silicon Valley at the time when I went there. And now, because SpaceX, many companies out there.
Snapchat.
Yeah. So I think LA has complete change now. Yeah.
By the way, we're opening a studio in LA. We actually opened the studio, so I'm gonna go over there in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
To interview a couple of rappers.
Wow.
I know nothing about rap music or anything to do with music. I'm like, okay, I got. So I don't say no. I learned it from you. I say yes, no problem. I'll figure it out. That's gonna be awkward.
They probably don't know what they have agreed to.
Oh man, this is great. So the USC and then your entrepreneurial journey. But you were also part of Yahoo.
Yeah.
You did that Apache Uzi.
Yeah, Uzi, and it's part of Hadoop.
Oh,
So Hadoop is well known. Like at that time, very popular. That's where I started sort of my first career. Like really building something a lot of people want.
Yeah.
At the time, I even thought, well, if so many people want it, I can start a company anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's true, because we did invent the word called cloud computing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before Hadoop, no one mentioned that.
Yeah.
And after Hadoop, everyone was talking about cloud computing, and everyone at the group was very small at the time. Feel like we're building something huge.
Because before Hadoop, the big data, and nobody talked about that. Hadoop came along, big data came along, right? Everything, then the cloud, and now
it become the thing. Yeah.
It's the thing, and now it's I think now AI is the thing, and everybody's before everything you just put a cloud next to it, right? You say Tom Cloud. I even bought a domain tom.cloud. Oh man, So everything was cloud, and after that you're like, nah, cloud. No.
Now it'll be AI. Tom.ai. I hopefully you get that all.
That is beyond my means. that is taken. But I was in the beginning days. This Tom.com. It's a big company in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And one of the big investors is Li Ka-shing. I was like, what? Oh wow! There goes my chances of getting that ever in my life.
Yeah.
So in Silicon Valley, you have been hiring a lot of engineers for your company, and now that you're doing all this logistics stuff, so you are not just engineering, you're also hiring people that are solving problems and other
doing
things.
the sales and marketing.
Oh, wow.
I actually love doing sales and marketing as an engineer. Because you always think about you're not efficient enough.
Yeah.
Like if you're sales, right, you probably will talk about how am I trap the customer in the first call.
Yes.
Because I have a lot of mentor. I say you have to do trap settings. Oh, what is trap settings? And I just learned. But if you as an engineer doing the sales, you always think about why is that magic like you are lacking? Like what is that? Like and you're trying to engineer. So what you're going to do is avoid like being a sales, you being a efficient manager, and you are able to mentor. So this is what I see as an engineer becoming sales. And I really love it because you can see a lot of problems like waiting to be solved. And maybe someday that will become our internal idea engine where we can start building things internally. And we start doing a lot of things internally, documentation and building a lot of template, right? But that's where the engineering mindset came from. Because we thought that was something we can engineer. But you're adding the typical sales process, and that would become really interesting because you have a lot of different contribution there. But that would be your internal IP. And so that would become your culture as well.
Oh man. Everything you say, I'm just getting so blown away. Because I never thought it this way, but when I left my engineering job, I worked in sales for a couple of years. But sales and engineering, sales engineer.
Oh, sales engineer.
Yeah,
that's still engineer.
That's engineer. But a lot of the processes we had in that company were very push it to the customer, push. I always thought, why not we create it in a way that the customer wants it? It should be pull from their side, not pushing all the time. So for many years, I developed some of these ideas. I didn't really think of it in an engineering way, that how can we make it where they call us instead of we keep calling them every day, And now that it makes sense, engineers can make very good salespeople.
You will make it more efficient.
Yeah.
Right? When you see the problem, maybe there's different mindset when it comes to sales, as an engineer perspective or typical sales perspective. But engineer, if you have the mindset to change things, actually it can be a very efficient organization. So I'm not saying we're going to be very, very good sales org, right? But we're going to be very, very good at changing things and creating new things. Like I mentioned, we're creating the podcast.
Oh, Jeremy Lamb.
Podcast for IT security.
No
one has done it before.
I love that. This is because, and Jeremy Lamb, one of our stars, I said his name, I think, in a bunch of my podcasts. If anybody's listening full on, they'll be like, oh, why did he say Jeremy Lamb so many times? That's a very innovative thing, because now you're talking to a lot of the cybersecurity people, a lot of the people in that industry, and kind of getting the best practices and how to work.
And also cross promotion, because sometimes they will only bring the best to the show, right? And they will say the most important thing people care about. And you are able to cross-reference and then maybe compose it to a very, very good collection for our customers. So if they have a problem, they can, this is a collection I can just watch, right? Those are very good best practice. But the good thing is with this, you don't have to figure out, because people will come to you eventually, because once you are the company, you have product. It's not just only a podcast. And then you also have the podcast series where you can do a lot of things promoting your company and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that will become, I think, a drive force for the sales. That comes back to our engineering mindset, right? We figure out, okay, so the sales and marketing is a problem. How can we make it better?
Yeah.
And we just like, okay, that's another way which we can engineering to make it sound like we are a big company.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's actually really a different way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like even if you think of when Joe Rogan was doing it, and he had like that guy Jamie, and he had one guy in the camera, the other guy who pulls up things on Google, right? And then he was just talking and showing his muscles and all of that, and that became the biggest thing in the podcast, right? Because it was a brand new thinking. Nobody was kind of asking those type of questions. Nobody was doing that, and now there's so many podcasts going on, but everybody has different things they're getting into. But you have that expertise in the cybersecurity logistics, in these things.
And we can leverage it to bring the people in this industry together to focus on solving the problem seen every day. And that become a very good knowledge base.
Yeah, knowledge base, and they can also partner with you, integrate their app into your app store.
Exactly. So win-win.
Right? Wow. Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is Jeremy Lam. That's fantastic. So you have the
that's an organic way of developing.
Yes. I agree to that. The organic marketing.
Yeah.
Instead of pushing the ads and because the more ads you see, it's less efficient.
Right.
Right. And then also with the ads, you're sometimes competing with very large companies.
Yeah.
That are
also very expensive.
Very expensive to go on the top on Google for those ads. And for them, it doesn't matter because it's part of that budget that department is spending. But for you have to, every penny needs to be efficiently utilized.
Yeah.
Right? You got to make a big thing out of the investment you're making.
Yeah. So you have to figure out what's the best investment you can do. Even you're not a bigger company, you can still use the resources you have to figure out something much bigger.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. Although we don't have this we figure out solutions.
But you got a very nice office. The office location is very good.
Yeah.
Back in the days, a long time ago, I was seeing this girl, and she used to work in that office. Oh. That's how I know that office. Other than it's but they used to do lending or something. There was a lender. Or the landlord used to be a lender or something.
Okay.
Very wealthy man, but I think now it's more tech.
Yeah.
Tech has taken over. No more lending in Silicon Valley. But also next to it is Palo Alto Networks. You got the Abbott Labs, right? You got like the top of the top companies over there in the same road.
Yeah, right? I think Silicon Valley has multiple regions. I think it's becoming the hub.
Yeah.
The bigger company usually on the South Bay because you have space, right?
Yeah.
But the San Francisco area is going to have a lot of startups. And the reason I enjoy in the South Bay is the environment. You don't see homeless.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest problem in the city. But for us, we rarely see anything. We are living in the heaven. We have a best of best, right?
Yeah, we actually never see homeless people in the Santa Clara, that area. Actually, we have never seen. We just watch homelessness on TV for LA and San Francisco.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Yeah. And then we keep complaining, oh, California, this happening, that happening. Actually, did you experience?
Yeah.
I don't know that. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because San Francisco, I think that's a big problem. They need to work on that. The most important thing to learn is your way of thinking. Everything you look at a problem and you try to go figure out how to solve it from different directions. So now, how about hiring?
Yeah. Most of the company have a hiring problem. I think till today, even market has completely changed, right? Yeah. Hiring is still the bigger issue. However, this is not for YC star. I can sell the resume.
Yeah.
to recruiter. Every time recruiter call me, I say, how many resumes do you have? Oh, actually, I have more. So that's how, like, I think because YC is very big, like, job board.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will go there, apply. And right now, you don't have, like, Stack Overflow, people using LinkedIn more.
Yeah.
But LinkedIn is not efficient, like, in terms of finding job or posting job. So a lot of people, the next best thing is YC job board. But only YC company can do it.
Yeah.
So this is secret sauce. Very few company mention this, but I think this is probably how a company can succeed.
Yeah. Gary Trent should.
It's free. It's 100% free for company like ours.
Yeah. Oh wow, man! Yeah. You're advertising for YC. They should be making a better investment in Swifteam again.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Angelo, do you need some more? Let me send you a check. And that's very important. Now, the other problem I face is Silicon Valley. Everybody is so attractive. You got Swifteam over there, you got Palo Alto Networks, you got Google, Apple, all the companies from Mehra to everybody trying to get that same guy. So if the guy is really good, chances are he's probably gone.
Yeah.
And then if the guy is not that good, chances are he's gonna stay, but the work is not that good.
Yeah.
I was talking to this Walmart manager the other day, and he was like, yeah, it's a very good candidate, but how long do you think he's going to stay? I need somebody that's going to stay. I don't have to look after every single day. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So that's an issue. How do you kind of get around that?
I think one thing you have to remember, like, in what do you need? Like, do you actually need this, like, guy? I don't know what's his name.
Yeah.
So, well, in the US, the market is already big, right? You think about hiring somewhere in Denver, right? Those are very good options. And if you don't have the options, you can think about outside the box. Like, there are plenty of people out there. That's why, so the distributed work, remote work or hybrid, right? It's going to be future of work.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be complete change how company operates. Yeah, if you just have the office set up in San Jose or San Francisco City and only want to hire your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
I think you'll be probably die.
Next month. Yes.
And post your job on the local newspaper.
The only reason anybody posts a job on local newspaper is because they are doing a green card application. There is no other reason you ever post it. I think that's how that's the only income source that SF Chronicle and those guys have. Yeah, it's $1,500. Nobody asks a question because the lawyer is paying. Okay, write you the check. Otherwise, and nobody ever looked at it. It's like,
you apply there, you probably not just like. You probably should not even look for engineer if you apply a job on the newspaper.
The engineer wakes up in the morning, reads newspaper, makes. This is a thing. A lot of people don't realize the power. I post jobs, and I have posted many jobs, many places. Some of my best hires came from North Dakota, came from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Not many, one or two, but they stayed with me for years. I never had to worry. They were loyal. They did the job. Whereas whenever I hire somebody big shot, I'll solve all that problem. Yeah. After some time, like, hey, I'm a little busy. I have this, and then they're gone. So that's some of the tricks. But then about but are you? Do you have like the co-founders?
I am a solo founder.
So
many investors ask the same question. Why didn't you need a co-founder? Did you like get cocky or something? I try like, meeting people, see if there's a material. But the thing is, when they come in, like, I couldn't find a thing to do. Like, we have a very good engineering team. And then when they come in, they say, I think I'm not good at anything that they're doing. Okay, so are you going to do sales and marketing? Then I think we also have very good sales and marketing team, and I'm doing it already. So we couldn't find a very good position for a co-founder, right? Maybe it's just a different stage now. So that's why I have tried, but not able to find. And I'll just keep going, right?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this, because I have all my life, I'm a control freak. I like to control things. So, I'm always, I don't even take our businesses don't need like the venture capital fund type thing. We're more like service business. So service business you can keep growing with the money that's coming in. So you don't really need. If you're not building a product, then you don't need it. But one of the benefits of this is pivot. Whenever you have a new idea, you want to do it something differently, you don't have to go around and ask people and have a consensus. You can just try it out. See if it works. If it works, you go with it. If it doesn't, just forget it and move on, right? So that's a very good benefit, the flexibility, things you can do with it, right? Because let's say tomorrow morning, the Swift AI, you have an idea of integrating something, one of your apps, and have it full on, some Chrome extensions maybe that you have, and you want it to be pre-installed on the device. And so you can do that easily, and there is no conflict of interest because you're the solo founder. You can do a lot of things
with the solo founder.
Yeah.
I think the pros is this way, but the downside is like it gets lonely most of the time, because you don't have anyone to talk to. So the other thing you can do is bring the senior people who can help you on specific job. Right? They can be your, co-founder. I don't really know what's the difference between very good founding team and the co-founder. For me, it actually feel the same. They are like your family. They trust you and join early. They give you feedback, and the only difference is they're not getting a lot of shares. Right? That's all. I don't know what's the difference there, but it sounds good to me.
No, that is actually good because you are so right, man. Everything, you are just completing my sentences because I got so lonely for so many years. That's one of the fundamental reason I started this podcast because I wanted to meet some people that are not my employees, or girlfriends, or those. I wanted to meet somebody that is very knowledgeable above me and kind of give me some ideas that I can steal and do myself. So that was one of the ideas. Because it gets a little lonely, and it could be like, it's a bubble sometimes, right? Because you're thinking and
often you like, for example, engineering problem, sales and marketing problem. You don't know if you're right or not. But if you know someone, just call them. This can be easy solved. You don't have a co-founder to bounce the idea. Just find someone that you can call. I think if you have a community, like you have YC community for me, and you have someone like that, I think there are a lot of resources. So you don't have to be, a partner with someone or co-founder. But if you do, that you're a lucky person. If you really truly find someone works, I think that's also very good.
Sometimes, a lot of the big companies, like Larry Page found Sergey Brin, a great example of that. Even the Steve Ballmer, right? Bill Gates found Steve Ballmer. It was okay. But Steve Ballmer did very well because he held on to the Microsoft share. He never sold. If Bill Gates kept it, if he never sold, he'd be worth like $500 billion today.
Wow.
But Bill Gates sold it a long time ago. Part of the reason is Warren Buffett. He gave him ideas that how he could be buying other companies and all. But nobody knew Microsoft would do so well. And Jeremy used to work for Microsoft, right?
I think so.
He was the HoloLens, the VR goggle thing. Did you go to the Jeremy's podcast?
This is for customers or external industry experts, right?
Okay. Not the internal.
Not internal one. We're not self-promoting. We're promoting others, knowledge.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if we just promote ourselves, I don't think this podcast will be popular.
There are companies I have seen. But I'm not gonna mention names. But a friend of mine's company, but. They have a podcast too, but it's all the employee only. It's the employee only podcast.
That's probably for all hands, right?
This is that's not very beneficial if it's just the employee only talking.
Oh, if you're Apple, yes, Apple has an internal podcast called Apple University.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They interview internal people, and you have to watch as your new employee. So
Oh, okay. The new employees watching, you know.
But they have like 100K or 200K employee. Of course, that audience.
And you know, their boss, if the guy's in an interview, you just go, oh, I watched the podcast.
Yeah.
It was so amazing, bro. It was the best.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I think we can give you a promotion.
Yeah.
This is, but this is your first podcast.
Yeah, it's our sort of like podcast way of promoting
the Tom
business.
Style Show.
Oh, yes.
Oh man, I'm so honored. Thank you.
This is true. I did like a lot of gigs as a founder. Went to West Summit, standing on the stadium, watching 10,000 people. I don't even know what I said at the time. You know, just like talk.
Yeah.
And a lot of pitch events, right?
Yeah.
But really, I think podcast is very new.
Yeah.
It's very, very new. Like a lot of people thought it's audio. Like I read a lot of audio, I listen to a lot of audio books, right? But this is a new type. It combines the video and audio.
Yeah.
And it makes like industry knowledge able to transfer much quickly now.
You know, this is one of the things. Sometimes founders, they come in, they pitch their ideas. And so if they're pitching, it's rehearsed, they're ready. The questions that are going to come in, they're probably ready for that, right? But when you go soft and talk about life, talk about things in general, they open up. They talk about their previous experience, their future ambitions, things like that. It gives you, before you write a check for a VC, it gives you a lot of idea about that person, right? Like talking to you, there are just so many things we agree on. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is like, you know, he thinks much better than me, but you know, he's in the same line of thinking. Right, but sometimes I talk to people. They have an entire different idea and entire different thinking, so for a VC, it's very important to open up because with the Shark Tank and those attack style, those are good stunts. You know, people are like, oh my God, oh what's gonna happen? That it has its value for the show business. That's good for that, but when you put people in an attack mode, they're defensive. They're ready to fight. So you don't get the softness, you don't get the things for them to open up. They're more closed-minded because they're defending, right? But in a podcast, they come in, they relax, they talk about things. That way you get to know that person a lot more, right? And even not just forget VCs, your customers.
Yeah.
Right? They want to know more about you.
Exactly.
And right, so once they kind of see, oh, you know what? That guy I can trust. I can, maybe after watching this, if any of them watch the show, they would be, you know what? I have another problem. Why don't I give it to him to solve it?
Yeah, and also yes.
Yes. Give me more. Yeah. So that's a good thing. So now, how about the future? What's the plan? Like a couple years down the road, what do you want to do with Swif?
I think Swif are definitely going to be that solution that help company to onboard and offboard remote and hybrid employees. Okay. And so everything in between will be covered, like device security, identity management, access management, inventory management, and plus IT service, right? Oh. Many companies have like using us, and then the next question is like, one of the employee will come to us like, I think this program doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I think you can help me to fix it, right? And what's the next? I said, yes. But that's where I thought, okay, I should provide the IT services as a package. Retention credits, like if they have a request, sort of like tickets, right?
Yeah, the tickets.
We sell them credits, and then they will solve all the employee questions. They don't have to worry anything. Otherwise, the CEO, founder, or CTO have to worry, oh, this is not working, and let me help you, or something like that. But why not just sell that as a package so employee they know there's someone that can answer that question. And for us, we just need to find the help, right? We can aggregate the different contractor network to solve that specific problem.
Wow, yeah, because you have the resources. So this is like IT support.
Yeah.
You're doing full US-based IT support.
Yeah.
Whereas, other companies, you gotta call offshore team, and then it goes to the phone line, and their supervisor comes in.
Yeah.
But
so there are many problems I mentioned, right? IT service is also very outdated industry. If you look at all the players, like identity management, access management, inventory management, they are all kind of new. You probably can find a modern supplier.
Yeah.
IT service, just think about a new name like you can find.
Yeah.
It's very outdated industry.
Wow, that's so true. You know, this is one of the things. Elon Musk used to say this, that so many kids are all on TikTok and social media, and even they're very technical, coming from all these engineering schools. They're also developing apps and things like that in that soft virtual world.
Yeah.
Whereas the physical world they have forgotten. And I told this story many times. In Silicon Valley, nobody knows how to do carpentry, how to do woodwork, nothing. They just throw it away, buy a new one. Their service provider vendors buy a new. The desk that Jeremy Lamb was sitting behind, the desk over there, I spent $10,000 to make that desk. I have never felt that dumb in my life, because there is no one in Silicon Valley that does it. I found a guy that used to work for Ubisoft, the gaming company. He said, yeah, I do carpentry in my garage, so I'm going to do it for you. So that guy did it. And, you know, so this is, it's crazy. So you're taking on these logistics, the problems that are not initially scalable.
Right. And you just say yes. And you figure out a way to do it. Right?
Wow.
So this is very important as an entrepreneur mindset. Like, yes, it doesn't sound like a very, very big margin, service industry, outdated industry, but it makes sense for your customer, because your customer buy your product not just because that solution, right? They want to solve the problem they have.
Yeah.
And now they're proposing a second problem, third problem, and it all makes sense.
Yeah. That's so good. You know, this is I think you're going to be incredibly successful in this, because you were already a successful entrepreneur, but you know,
it was hardworking. But I think I'm getting there, understanding how you know, a real business should be, right?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned Shark Tank, right? Those are real business, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the business like restaurant, you know, foods and so on and so forth. Technology should be the same. Like it should not be the exception. You need to think about in a business perspective, right?
Yeah.
You're solving one problem. So yeah, you can use technology, like AI for something, but eventually the problem has to be there.
Yeah. Because in tech we had this amazing time last decade where you can dominate things, and you only take the high margin stuff, right? That has a high recurring margin, and you just solve that, and you think nobody else can come in because of network effect and things
or
like
technology barrier.
Or the technology barrier, right?
Yeah, but now not anymore.
Not much.
Even the semiconductor, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's investment, but not undoable. Like you can still achieve a certain level of semiconductor, right? With the same like very modest budget.
Yeah, that Intel figured out with after a long time, because they used to be so much ahead of everybody, and then their manufacturers now way ahead of them. You know, so if you don't want to do the dirty work, chances are it could be eliminated by the guy who is doing the dirty work. Yeah. Right. So that's so true, man. That's just so true. You are very realistic. I would say you are a realistic entrepreneur, because you are like real life things you think and look at it, not a very lofty way of thinking. Like, oh, okay, nah, I don't touch that. I have vendors to do it. You know, like, I'm here.
Yeah. So the business problem or any consumer problem, there's still problem. Like they're still out there, and that I think a lot of entrepreneurs trying to figure out their own problem, but sometimes you have to just maybe wait a bit longer to validate. And then figure out the bigger pictures. But ideal spaces can work. Like if you identify a consumer problem or business problem, and you just keep finding it, that will eventually be a very, very big problem itself. Yeah.
Right now you're fully B2B because the product is focused on other businesses. But how about the size of the client? Do they need to be super big, or
they're all bigger than ours? so this is a way of a start, right? You always started with something that, and then finding a customer bigger than you.
Yes. Yes.
And we were very lucky. We got there. We're able to find a customer much bigger than us and solving their problem.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will get bigger and bigger through the way. Yeah.
Yeah. No, because if they're smaller, their problems will be very small that they can probably solve in-house, So, they need to get bigger and bigger. And so, yeah, yeah. Do you have like any significant competitor in this?
Yeah, of course. So traditional device security has been there for 10 years. I think maybe around 10 years. Since Apple started, Apple is always the one that care about security. Windows catch up in the recent years.
Yeah.
So it's very outdated.
Yeah.
I think they are catching up. So there are new vendor coming on for solving the specific, like Windows or Mac, sometimes Android, iPhone. And then also vendor now realize they have to cross-platform, like combine all the devices called unified device management. And now we're looking at different angle. Like, can we solve it for distributed world? Like, we are the crypto for bank. Like, we are disputed. So, we don't want to be disputed database, right?
That term distributed became popular with the crypto, right? Everybody, we are distributed, distributed system. We use blockchain. But the thing is, the crypto companies could be your big clients too, because most of them are very remote.
Exactly.
And even if they have a physical place, that's always outside US, but that's for a very different reason.
Yeah.
But so even the Binance is now going through a lot of issues because they have full remote structure and the whole thing. Even Coinbase does not have a headquarters. So any company that's remote or hybrid, which is all, that could be your customer.
Yeah, that's 60% of the company though, by the way.
God, wow.
So the market is extremely huge, and this is just US alone.
And wow. Man, this is amazing. I think you're gonna dominate this. This is you're gonna be the dominating force. Not because just the idea, not because just the technology, not because just the logistics, but your willingness to solve customers' problem, whatever it is, however it comes.
Yeah.
I think that's going to differentiate you from everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We should change our name to Yes, maybe.
Yes. That's
Yes.
Yes. I think that domain is also taken.
You can try like yes, or still taken.
Oh my God. But Angelo, before we let you go, we gotta ask you any future word of advice for your fellow entrepreneurs or anybody you are trying to hire, any message you want to give it to this podcast, not the podcast owned by you in-house. Any word of advice.
As a general advice is like looking for organic problem. Don't just invent it. Yeah.
Yes. I'm saying yes now every time I'm counting. But looking for the organic problem, that makes so much sense. And I think the whole conversation today, we talked about, how to find problems and, what to do, different things that you face and how do you react to it. Right. And but a lot of the times it comes to your reaction. Like, are you gonna nah, that's not my problem, or let me see how can I help you. So that's kind of the approach that you have taken. So this is Swif AI or Swifteam back in the days it used to be called. And if you guys are going to the Taylor Swift concert at the Levi Stadium, say hi to him. Take a picture, a selfie. All right. Thank you, Angelo.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. And we want to have you back. So whenever you release something new, some new features, we wanna have you back and give us some more organic advice, how to grow, things like that.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please
Bye-bye.
do subscribe.